Spain. Where is it? Spain is a country located in southwestern Europe of the Iberian Peninsula. It lies south of the Pyrenees Mountains and stretches all the way to the Strait of Gibraltar, a body of water that separates Spain from the continent of Africa. France borders Spain to the northeast, and Portugal borders it to the west. The Balearic Islands off Spain's eastern coast form an archipelago in the Mediterranean Sea. People appreciate this string of 5 islands for its beautiful beaches and rich holiday traditions. People also enjoy the beaches of Canary Islands off the western coast of Morocco. The capital and largest city in Spain is Madrid. Its population is roughly 3.3 million, with about 6.5 million people living in the surrounding area. Madrid sits on a raised plateau about 640 meters above sea level. The Royal Palace in Madrid is one of the grandest buildings in all of Europe. King Alfonso IX, the last monarch to live in the palace, fled to the country in 1931. After the king left, the state took control of the royal palace, and no member of the monarchy ever lived there again. The Spanish royal family now lives in a much smaller palace outside of Madrid. Spain's government, known as a constitutional monarchy, has a prime minister and a lawmaking group called Parliament. Those members are elected by the people. Their king, Philip VI, is the head of the government. However, only the elected officials can make and pass laws. People. The population of Spain as of January 2016 was estimated to be fewer than 48 million people. The urban population far exceeds that of the rural areas. About 3/4 of the population lives in Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, and other smaller cities. Tourism employs have about 2 million people and is very important to Spain's economy. The auto industry remains one of Spain's largest employers. Other industries include textiles, food, apparel, shipbuilding, and the making of medical equipment. On the top of that, Spain proudly produces and exports more olive oil than any other country in the world. Spain is a member of the European Union, EU. The EU began in 1951, with the countries of Belgium, Germany, France, Luxembourg, and Italy taking part. Its purpose was to have countries work together to solve common concerns, such as trade, security, and the rights of citizens. Most EU members share a currency called euro. As since 2015, the EU has 28 member nations. Spain's official language is Spanish or Castilian, and most people speak it. Depending on the region, people also speak Basque, Galician, and Catalan languages. Land. Spain's varied landscape ranges from high plateaus to the interior of dry desert-like regions in the south. Beautiful beaches and mountain ranges around the country create distinct environments. The Meseta Central, a plateau in central Spain, covers about half of the country. People mine silver, lead, and copper and raise livestock in the mountains that border the Meseta. The dramatic and Calgary, Sierra Nevada mountain chain rises over southern Spain, with Mount Muladen towering over the entire ridge. The Sierra Nevada is part of the Andalusian region. In the southeast, the Pyrenees Mountains lie to the north and form a solid natural border between Spain and France. The Pyrenees mountain chain stretches from the eastern shores of the Mediterranean Sea to the coastal of the Atlantic Ocean in the west. The chain extends 434 kilometers long. The western part of the mountain range is a lush, rolling, heavily wooded countryside. In the east, vineyards and orchards are plentiful. The central region includes a rich display of glaciers, granite peaks, deep canyons, waterfalls, and hundreds of mountain lakes. Several groups of people, the Andorran, Catalan, Bearnese, and Basque, call the Pyrenees Mountains their home. Traditionally, they make a living through agriculture and raising livestock. A wide variety of animals also live in these mountains. The brown bear, a species of goat antelope called the chamois, and the rare bearded vulture all live in the Pyrenees. History. People from Phoenicia settled southern Spain around 800 BC. Phoenicia is Lebanon, Syria, and Israel today. Phoenicians were skilled artisans and sailors who traded ivory and perfumes of bronze and silver goods. Greek traders from Carthage, now Tunisia, followed around 500 BC and brought with them olive trees and grapes. Then, around 200 BC, the Romans arrived and ruled Spain for about 600 years. They constructed roads and bridges that connected towns. They also built aqueducts and carried water from rivers to cities. The Germanic people came from the north after the Romans. Then Muslim settlers, known as Moors, arrived in the 1700s and forced the Germanic people from power. Moorish buildings can still be seen in Spain today, including monuments such as Alhambra, a palace of Granada, built in the 1300s, the Great Mosque of Cordoba. For many centuries, Spain has been divided into kingdoms. The main ones were Aragon, Castile, and Granada. Two of these kingdoms became one when King Ferdinand II of the Aragon and Queen Isabel I of Castile married. The king and queen were Catholic merchants who won a war against the Moors of control of Granada. Ferdinand and Isabel paid explorers such as Christopher Columbus to find new trade routes for Spain to Asia. When Columbus discovered the New World, islands in the Caribbean Sea, Spanish colonies were set up there, and gold, silver, and spices were sent back to Spain. This period became the golden age of Spain. However, much wealth was spent on the wars. With northern Europe, Spain's riches began to disappear. The next 400 years were a time of great unrest in Europe. Countries fought to control of land and territories both in the 20th century. From 1936 to 1939, Spain fought a violent civil war. When the war ended, the General Francisco Franco took control of the country and ruled as a dictator until his death in 1975. After Franco's death, King Juan Carlos became the next king and designed the Adolfo Suraviev, who brought the democracy of Spain as prime minister. Celebrations. The Spanish people looked forward to local holidays called fiestas or festivals. These holidays often celebrate local harvests, historical events, and saints linked to particular places. Lively and fun. They include dancing, singing, parades, and fireworks. St. George's Day on April 23 is a time of people to give loved ones books and red roses. In July, Pamplona hosts the festival of San Fermin. During this festival, men and women try to dodge bulls, such as they run through the streets of Pamplona. The National Day takes place on October 12th. This is the date that marks Christopher Columbus landing in the Americas. For the Spanish people, it is also the date that honors Spain as an important country in the world. Food. The Spanish love their food and usually eat 3 meals a day. A Spanish breakfast might have coffee, milk, or hot chocolate, a sweet roll, sometimes cereal. They eat lunch, the biggest meal of the day, around 2 in the afternoon. Lunch may include soup, salad, a main course, and dessert. Dinner is a lighter meal and is served late, anywhere from 9 to 11 in the evening. Each region in Spain enjoys its own style of food. Coastal regions typically serve seafood. People in central Spain often eat beans, lentils, lamb, and pork. Valencia, known for its rice dishes, is famous for paella, a rich dish that can be made with fish, meat, and vegetables. A delicious and popular soup called gazpacho comes from the Andalusian region of Spain. Many of the tomatoes and other vegetables, the soup is often served cold in the summer as a refreshing meal. Conclusion: the Spanish are very proud people. Although many identify their town or region they're from, their celebrations and festivals bring them together as a nation. Some regions still try to preserve their own traditions, but the country has been unified for many years. Spain is one of the most lively cultural centers of the European Union. It boasts an amazing heritage used in part of the arrival of people from many different parts of the world who have brought celebrations, food, and architecture to Spanish culture. Although the Spanish treasure their rich and remarkable history, there are also people who enjoy living in the present. Spain's beauty is a long cultural heritage, and the warmth of the people help to make our world a more interesting place to live in.